Okay, testing. Hello, everyone. I'm going to be staring at my computer a little bit while Sam and I are communicating. Good, it sounds great. So that's fantastic. Hallelujah. We're going to give a couple minutes to have some people roll on in. While this is all going to be happening, A, I can see who's logging in, which is amazing. B, the program is I'm going to read for a few, like by a few minutes, I mean 15 minutes or so. And by or so, it's like I timed it and it was around 16. So, and then we're going to have some time for question and answer. So, bring it on. You can ask me anything pretty much while I fix my hair. Yeah, so, and the questions and comments do take time to roll in. So, like, if I just make faces at the screen for a while, that's just what it's going to be for a little bit. And then I'll, once maybe we get someone who lovingly asks a question, I'll be able to answer. Hi, Megan. Thanks so much. Let me describe the PJs while we get a couple more people in. So, my PJs, every year my mom buys us pajamas, like matching pajamas for my sisters and myself and her. So last year's theme was elves. And I kept telling friends that they were penguins because I forgot. So, yep, they are just full on real life pajamas, and I'm wearing socks. Because it's rainy outside. I ended up going out to an international food fair, and then I've been editing some poems for this manuscript that I'll talk more about in a bit. Hi everyone. Yay, thanks so much for tuning in. Yeah, Stephanie says yay. Nissa says yay. Hello everyone. Yeah, so we'll get started in just a moment as I pull up my document again of the poems that I'm planning on reading. Oh, it's up. Cool. We did it. Okay. No worries to be late, everyone. We are all on time. So here's what's happening. Again, how about, what's my favorite international food? Today it was empanadas and arepas. It was a real lifetime. So, my name is Carly Joy Miller. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, little about me. I just moved out to New York in October. I live with my wonderful sister and a roommate, and we have a little doggy friend. So that's fun. I am a poet. Yeah, that's what the series is called. I'm reading in my pajamas. And I'm going to be reading pieces that are forthcoming from two projects, actually. The first project that is coming out, I believe at the end of the summer, maybe a little later, definitely by the end of 2017, is, sorry, people are messaging me and they're forgetting that I'm doing this. So anyway, the first project is called Like a Beast. It's a chapbook that's forthcoming from Anhinga Press. Again, it should hopefully be out by the end of 2017. We're just finishing up a couple things with it. And the other newer project that just got announced as forthcoming just a couple weeks ago is my full-length collection, which is currently titled Ceremonial. And Carl Phillips chose it for the Orison Books 2017 Prize in Poetry, which is really a cool honor and exciting. So what I'm going to be reading from is a mix of poems that are appearing only in the chapbook or in both projects, and then I'm going to probably end with one that is not in any of the projects. It's sort of just something that I'm trying new. So let's get the poems going. So the first poem is one that sort of started my obsession with the word beast. And beast seems to be like a sort of hot word right now, at least to me. I see it all the time, and I'm just like, yes, everyone, let's get into our beastliness. But this is a poem that sort of started it all. It's called Letter to Body Made Shadow. Or criminal frame transparent in the belly of a sunlit beast. What to steal? With your scuffed mouth and lopsided tongue. There are no teeth to you. Silent as carvers' knives on the table. Hush, listener. This is a sacrificial act. Always reduced to feet, my hooligan shroud. Quiver beneath the brow, your tongue tipped with arrowheads for sour blood, what spree? A lone bulb you wish to bite. There are no knives in your back, thank goodness. What keeps you tacked to me, my lone saint of weeds? Maggot. I mean, may we get comfortable as suspects or each other. May we slink and croon across shrines with our soft bodies, our shoes, stones. So yeah, so that's a poem where the beast sort of first started popping up, and then I decided to sort of figure out what exactly is happening with this beast. And it's basically really what, again, the chapbook is called Like a Beast, forthcoming from Anhinga Press, and they're just wonderful to work with. So part of the chapbook, it's organized in shifts, so meaning night shift, day shift, and mid shift. And what I was really thinking about were sort of personas, so personas that we take on. I really like persona poems. That's always sort of where my poetic instincts always tend to go toward. So I decided to take on a persona and look at ways where it can constrict us, especially when you hammer it into also considering nighttime in that mood, or mid shift in that mood again, and day shift, and then sort of getting into a lighter beginning of that. So the chapbook sort of works from night to day. So I'm going to start off with the first poem that is from that chapbook. And it's, yeah, again, kicks it off. And it was published in Blackbird. So this is called Night Shift as a Waitress. Sweet thing, I've strapped my hands to flags to wave you over, and my thighs are so pale and free. I sucked on 20 lemons to pucker my mouth shut, yet I'll whistle you the proper order. Powdered sugar on the flapjacks, coffee that kicks like a bull without some salt. You don't need to know about my half-wants, or how the neon open sign sparks and chars the hair on my wrists. All you know is I look like milk in the dark, and you have minutes left to get me to wail the best blues of our weekly undoing. Next poem I'm going to read is... Sorry, somebody keeps messaging me, so I'm going to just... Hi, Peter LaBerge. Okay, so there we go. Next poem I'm going to read is called Night Shift as Apprentice, and this poem came out in Four-Way Review. Night Shift as Apprentice. The butcher breaks me open, says bones are sticks for flesh. Early I knew. I broke my sister's arm the night of her 3rd birthday. Happy I was in my oblivion, so cushioned in my sleep. That's when he wrestled me out to the barn 5 miles west. The neon stamped my eyes. There, bleeding lamb. There, hands lassoed in the leather. There. He hatchets ribs until the meat is the size of my fist. Perfect portion. He keeps at it. I keep at it. My country says abundance in its red-drenched coat, and I grab my share, and some I consume, and some I spit to Frankenstein the animal for a feast. And how I've grown, so nervy and ugly and full. Now we're going into mid-shift, which is sort of like a stream of consciousness within the chapbook. I really wanted to read this poem because Natalie Albert had an amazing poem. It's still out, in Muzzle magazine, it's called With Her, and it talks about horse poems. And so I was thinking about my own horse poem. This one came out of an exercise I did at Tin House Writers Workshop under Natalie Diaz, where she asked us to sort of look into the images that we're obsessed with. And during that week, I happened to have all the poems with horses, and she was like, why? And I said, okay, I'm going to figure it out. So that's what I did. Mid-shift, contemplating the horse. The animal I am rivered to, odd-toed ungulate, in my fever toward the war horse, how she meadows her name, Equus Ferris. To be cabayas means yes to the ring, domestic house now home, running on electric blood, hot for speed, cold for heavy work, warm for the in-betweens. I wore between bodies, training my flanks to run. Wild horses couldn't drag me away from the good meal. Horses... Oh, I lost it. Couldn't drag me away from the good meal. Horses graze the pasture dry, 205 bones supporting their weight. I wait for horses to nuzzle my palm down to my hock, my ankle, my heel, healing in the sweat from my mane. My lover noticed how I played with it long, then chopped it to the bit, revealed my neck for wolves to prey. I was aware of my surroundings, yet willed the sharp teeth, the threat of an empty field, except for me. Once in Monterey, my grandmother asked for the dead horse, and I obsessed ever since on how the living read the backs of the dead, in her case to slow her fear of the beast, the beast, the beast I embrace as the ground reaches under my nails to shift my fight or flight response to elegy. So also in this section, besides just having mid-shift as a title, a lot of these tend to stick with the shift aspect leading off the poem titles. This is actually the first poem in a series of ceremonials, which is what the full-length collection is currently called, and I think we're sticking with it. Fingers crossed, aka we're sticking with it. So this is the first one that I ended up writing within this series before I realized what it was actually going to be leading toward. Ceremonial, heart of the trotted beast. Little elbow of pleasure in the eating dress. The animal needs room, even if unchurched, yet beautiful. I never considered the cathedral a body needing to break. I lay the trotter down, pestle the eyes opaque in vision. As soon as I take the cloth to clean the sockets, the